Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. What I'd love to do today is go through a book, and the book that I've selected for this episode is entitled Why Marriages Succeed or Fail, and How You Can Make Yours Last. This book was published on the 1st of June 1995 by an author named John Gottman. So let's step through this book, see what we can learn and see what we can incorporate into our own relationship knowledge to help us make sure that our marriages go the distance. So the first key message to come from this book is where the author talks about the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Gottman, in his book, identifies four communication patterns that can virtually predict divorce with 90% accuracy. And these four communication patterns are as follows: contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling. The message is very clear. If you want to save your marriage, it's important to avoid these four communication patterns at all costs. The next message to come from this book is where the author encourages people to turn towards each other instead of turning away from each other. When your spouse tries to connect with you, turn towards them instead of turning away. This means giving them your full attention and listening to them intently and with empathy, trying to understand where they are coming from. Another interesting lesson that comes from this book is a concept of a love map. And the call to action is to build a love map of your partner. And a love map simply is a deep understanding of your partner's inner world. It includes knowing their hopes, their dreams, their values, and of course their fears. Because at the end of the day, the more you know about your partner, the better equipped you will be to support them and nurture your relationship. The author goes on to talk about the importance of sharing fondness and admiration for your partner. Let your partner know how much you appreciate and admire them. This can be done through words, actions, or both. And whenever possible, the author here reminds us that it is key to be able to solve your solvable problems. Every couple has problems, but some problems are solvable and some are not. It's important to focus your efforts and your energy on solving the problems that can be solved and accept the problems that cannot be solved, but to be able to communicate them and understand it in a way which is productive. Another message to come from this book is where people are encouraged to manage their conflict in a healthy and a productive way. At the end of the day, all couples have conflict, but the way you handle conflict can make a huge difference. Between a happy marriage and a miserable marriage is where the effort is seen or unseen, because it's important to communicate calmly and respectfully, even when you're disagreeing. The author here talks about creating shared meaning wherever possible in your relationship. Shared meaning is what makes your relationship special. It's the things that you shared together, the shared moments, such as values, goals, dreams, activities, and family events. We're encouraged to find ways to create shared meaning in your relationship and nurture it as best you can over time. And another important lesson from this book is to make your marriage a priority. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of everyday life, but it's also important to make your marriage a priority. Schedule time for each other on a regular basis and make sure to do things that you both enjoy. Simple but practical, simple but powerful, simple but doable. And hopefully it never gets to this, but seeking professional help if needed is also a message that comes from this book, because if you're struggling with your marriage, don't be afraid to seek professional help, is the message. A therapist can teach you communication skills, conflict resolution skills, and other tools to help you improve your relationship. And the last key message, and the message that for me resonates the most, is to never ever give up on your marriage. Marriage, at the end of the day, is hard work, but it's worth it. If you're both committed to making your marriage work, you can overcome any challenge that comes your way. This book by John Gottman is indeed a valuable resource for couples who want to improve their relationships and build a lasting marriage. If you're serious about making your marriage work, this book, these messages, these lessons are highly recommended to learn and, of course, to implement with love. Thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where hopefully I can come to you again with another book and from another place here in this beautiful city of Sydney, where we can go on a walk and talk. We can become partners in each other's growth and development, taking OPE, valuable OPE, other people's experiences, other people's deep thinking, other people's deep learnings, and incorporate them into our inventory of skills, learning, wisdom, and knowledge. Take care. and we'll chat again. And as you can see, it's another beautiful Sydney winter's day, and a bit cold, but it will warm up and be a spectacular day. Take care and bye for now.